Well, to many people, there's nothing more frightening walking into a room full of strangers and not knowing where or how to strike up conversation with the unfamiliar faces.
Now, a perfect example of working the room the wrong way is this clip from Bridget Jones's diary when Bridge fronted a book launch which left her blushing.
Okay, circulate oozing intelligence. Ignore Daniel and be fabulous with everyone else. I am the intellectual equal of everyone else here.
Ooh. It's like a whole theory of short fiction and of the novella, you know? And, of course, the problem with Martin's definition of the novella is that it really only applies to him.
That doesn't sound like Martin. Not.
I mean, I could be wrong. What do you think?
Do you know where the toilets are? Huh? Stay calm. Can't get any worse.
I thought you did quite well there.
Where are the toilets?
Yeah.
It's always a good way out. What are the secrets of savvy networking? Joining us today to talk about how to work a room to your advantage is communications expert Hugh Guyton. Hugh, good morning. Welcome back to the show.
Good morning.
How well do we communicate? And has all that modern technology and the SMSing and the emailing killed the art of communication, in your opinion?
I certainly don't think it's killed it. From my perspective, I think it's adding another layer, that people are communicating in a different way, but the need to still have really good face-to-face, close relationship conversations, I think, helps you build on the relationships you can have online.
OK, so apart from asking where the toilets are, what are some of the really common social blunders that people make in these sorts of settings?
I think in these sort of settings, a lot of it comes down to respect for yourself and respect for others. So, you know, are you listening? Are you showing that you're engaged? Are you not talking over other people? I think, you know, those sort of things are very good guidelines to keep people in a good space while they're in a room full of other people. OK,
you're standing there, you're in a group, you now find that you have both your left and your right foot firmly planted in your mouth. How do you get out of this situation?
I wish I hadn't had that experience quite so many times, Carly. Larry, sorry.
That's right, I know, we look the same.
There we go.
We look the same. I'm with you, Meryl.
I think the first thing is to try and avoid, and the way to avoid is pause for a little moment, take a bit of a breath, think. So, you know, before you observe that a lady friend of yours is looking a little plumper, you might want to just check in with yourself whether that is likely to be pregnancy or that maybe we're just not exercising as much. So if in doubt, say nothing. I've found humour, apology if necessary, honesty. You know, if you realise you've made a faux pas, said something inappropriate...
If you've called someone the wrong name?
Yeah. Just face up to it and apologise.
And move on.
And move on quickly.
What's the best way to remember a person's name? Because it's, you know, when you're in a room full of people, you're being introduced to a whole bunch of people at the same time, there's so much going on. What's the best way to remember somebody's name?
Well, Larry, I'm not sure why you're asking me this. No, I think that the challenge for us, particularly when you're in a crowded room, there's so much going on.
Yeah.
And there's so much clutter in your head, you're worrying about who do I talk to, what's the question I'm going to ask. I think the real thing is choose to remember somebody's name. So right at that point of introduction, really focus on, I'm receiving the name, focus, focus, focus. And use their name back to them as quickly as you can straight away. So great to meet you. And you know, Larry, it's really great to meet you. Kylie, you're looking fabulous in that top. And so just introduce the name naturally in the conversation quickly 2 or 3 times, and you hopefully, by the end of that, have nailed it.
What about your tips for actually working the room? You've walked into the room and you go, you know, this is a good room. There's some good people here. How do you work it successfully?
I use the ACE model. So the ACE model is, you know, be aware, concentrate and engage. So under the awareness is, first of all, be aware that we're all different. Some people love networking, some people find it quite challenging. Recognise yourself for who you are, but also think, why might I want to engage in this networking? Why might I want to make some relationships? Also be aware what's going on for everybody else in the room. There's likely to be some people like you finding it challenging. I find if you act more like a host at somebody else's event, so introduce people. If you see a plate of food, take it around the room. Great way to meet people. They thank you for it, and suddenly the barriers are broken, so just get it going.
What about, how do you break into a group of people? Just say that you arrive, there's all these little groups. How do you then break into the group?
Well, I think the trick is not to do what Bridget did necessarily, which is to join a group and then just stand there quietly. At the first opportunity, introduce yourself or say something, contribute, engage. So in the ACE model, the E was for engage. So,
but do you just rock up and would you say, excuse me, or hello? I mean, they're in the middle of having a conversation, or if they're in the middle of having a conversation, do you just choose another group?
You may do. I'm quite happy to walk into a group that's already in conversation. I find if you smile, you open your body language, you show that you're interested in being part of the group, people naturally start making room for you. Nod and listen actively to the person who's talking, and then, you know, make a contribution.
Okay.
Well, what if I'm standing at the Logies with Kylie and a group of people come over and want to talk to her? Well, I just want to go away.
Well...
No, no, that's a dilemma. We'll talk about that another time.
We'll take that one offline.
Yeah. All right, Hugh, thank you. Good to talk to you again.
It's a situation which really presents itself in everyday life.
Yeah,
Thank you, Hugh.
Thank
After
you.
the break, Ready, Set, Throw, the World Custard Pie Championship is run and won.
We're back with more of The Morning Show in just a tick.
Live with my